Okay, so my wife's BMW, she come home the other day and told me that she had a new symbol pop up on her display, and what it was saying was there was a light issue, an exterior light. Let me show you the symbol. I think I have to have it started to see it. That's the only way I can get it to come up. You should see it. Yeah, that one right there. That symbol popped on, so I looked it up. It's exterior light symbol. I got walking around the car to try to figure out which one it was, and what it is the angel eyes, or at least one of them. Come out here and show you. Might be kind of hard to tell, but you can see the angel eyes on this side. That's the right side. This side, it's not on. And I actually hooked my scan tool to it, and it did say left hand. I think it said, what did it say? It was left hand parking light, maybe, or something like that. So anyway, we're going to change out the angel eye bulb, and got doing some looking. Let me show you what we're going to be putting in. These are some LED angel eye bulbs for this car, and I got them off Amazon. They were $17, highly rated. They're 6 watt for an E90. This is what they look like. It's supposed to be a direct replacement. Have not ever used any of these yet, so I don't know how long they're going to last. You can spend some pretty good money on replacement bulbs. There's some high-end ones out there. I mean, these were highly rated. I don't know how long they're going to last. They might not last at all. If they work at all and get that light out inside, that's about all I care about. So what I was going to do, see the power supply right there. Before I even install them, I want to make sure they both work. I'm just going to plug them up, crank up about 12 volts, see how bright they are, and then I'm going to go about replacing them. I've never done this before. I've never replaced the angel eye bulb before, so this will be the first time, and we'll see, you know, how long it takes, what's involved, and go from there. So let me get this car turned back off and get this power supply hooked up, and I'll come back. Okay, so it does not have a plus or minus on these terminals, so I don't know. I'm assuming they're non-polarity sensitive. So if I burn it up, I burn it up. I'll get another set. Okay, that's 7 volts right there. I'm going to go ahead and dial up 12 volts. I'm going to turn that down. I'm going to crank the current all the way up. Now, then I'm going to start coming up with the voltage. Okay, so that's 5 volts, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll do 12 and a half. And I'm sure the camera's probably compensating for that, obviously, but I mean, that looks pretty bright, and it's very white. It's a very white light. Maybe got a blue tint to it. Depends on, I mean, if I shine it on that gray background, it looks like it might have a little blue to it, but if I look straight at it, it looks, I mean, it looks about as white gets. It says it's a Cree bulb, which most Cree bulbs are a white type of light. So anyway, that one works. Let me make sure this other one works. I just don't want to put them in and find out they don't work and go through all that hassle. So that one ops check good. Okay, 12 and a half volts. That one looks about the same. Now, just out of curiosity, I'm going to reverse the polarity. So yeah, the polarity does not matter. Okay. So now on to the getting access to where these are at. I've already got the car jacked up and I've got the tires off to save time. So let me kind of show you. Let me give you a tip. What I found on this car. So this car is so low, I cannot get the jack underneath it, sitting in its natural state. So if you can drive up, what I use, this is a 2x12 piece of board that I've cut. Actually, this was for something else, but it works perfect for this. And if I drive the car up on these first, it gets it up just perfect to where I can get a jack underneath it and get it jacked up. With the jack point that's in the center right beneath the engine. Just a tip, super easy. Just drive the car up on something like that and it lifts it up, you know, 1 3/4 is what that is actually. And you can get a jack underneath it. At least this particular jack. Now your jack might be a little higher. So now what we're going to do, so I've got the tire off, there's the brake. We've got to take the center fender well off, and it's a split fender well. So the whole thing doesn't come out. You can literally just take this front piece out. So let me get the camera kind of set up over here and we'll start taking these screws out and see what's involved with taking this apart. Okay, so it looks like what I've got to get access to, there's a 10mm here, and it looks like all the others are 8. So there's 10mm here, there's some 8s up here, kind of goes around. I didn't count to see how many there are, but once you kind of get to looking underneath there, you can kind of see what it's going to take to get this off. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to get this 10mm off here, and then we'll go for the others. Okay, that was easy. Now it looks like there is a some kind of a plug. I don't know if we're gonna. Oh, there you go. Can you see that? Yeah. Not sure exactly what that's for, but anyway. And I believe, put the camera out. I believe this right here is where the angel eye bulb is at. So let me grab a screwdriver and see what it's going to take to get that off. Okay. So what I've actually got, I just grabbed a putty knife because it looks like if I put a putty knife in there, I don't know about the top. Let's do the top first. Okay, top's out. Okay, there we go. It does have a rubber seal. Okay, so the wires, as you can see, are just standard spade type. I'm gonna have to get some needle nose to pull those off. And it looks like, that looks like a Torx try to get a good close-up of how. So 2 wires and a couple Torx, and I guess that whole thing will come out of there. Let me get a Torx, and I'll come back. Okay, so I got a Torx bit set up, and I noticed that a Torx Plus fits it much better than just a regular Torx. A regular, it's a T15 or a TP15 in my case. If you don't have a Torx Plus set, a regular T15 obviously will probably work. These ain't going to be that tight, or they shouldn't be. But if you have a Torx Plus, then I would definitely go that route, because it is a much better fit. Okay, so there's that one. Pretty long screws. All right, so there's the main bulb. I'm gonna get some needle nose, pull those off, and I think that's got to come off. And if you look in there, okay, you see both those little round dots or circles or tubes or whatever you want to call them. One of those goes to one angel eye, the other one goes to the other angel eye. That's why when you looked at that LED, it's got 2 LEDs in it. And unlike the regular bulb, you see a piece of glass in there? Well, that bulb hits that glass and distributes that light evenly, so it goes evenly into the angel eye. So that's why you don't have 2 bulbs. You only have the single. You only have the single bulb, as you can see there. Look at those wires. Those wires are actually cracked. Huh. As far as I know, this has never been apart. This would just can't. I don't know if they've been. I don't know. Anyway, let me get some needle nose. I gotta pull those wires off. Okay, I just want you to see that that's the way that piece is installed. Now, when this thing comes off, and I'll show you what I mean. Let me get it out of there again. See the 2 little tabs here? Those go down. Those go on the bottom. Now let's take a look at what we got. Okay, so we got this piece. This is how, okay, these little deals went below, went down. This is the way the original light was on there. You've got a little ear right here that goes to the upper right, or inboard. Now, the new light, because it protrudes so much right there, it also, notice it also has the same little ear. And both lights in the package are the same, by the way. They're exactly the same. Okay, this isn't going to fit like that with this little piece still installed. So this piece has to come off. And then, now the light fits right on there. I don't know if it's important that this little ear is in the upper inboard, but that's the way that the original came off. And if you look, the LEDs, they line right up. And make sure, because I noticed whenever I looked at these in the box, this thing will rotate. You don't want it cocked in there like that. You want it completely parallel. And I wouldn't rotate it all the way around, because I'll guarantee you there's wires in there that require it to be perfectly parallel. So make sure that whenever it's installed, that it's in there just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to set the camera up, hopefully to where you can actually get a bird's eye view, and we'll see about getting this thing installed. Okay, to help me keep this thing lined up, I went ahead and put the screws in there. So let me see if I can slide it in. I want to use just a regular hand nut driver for the install. Make sure the wires ain't being pinched. That's not a very tight fit, so I'm going to get some needle nose and I'm going to pinch those a little bit. Okay. I don't know if I want to break this plastic or not, but see that bare wire? This is going to be the positive wire, by the way. I mean, I don't think they're going to touch, so I'm sure we'll be all right. Okay, I'm going to bring the camera out here. We're going to turn the lights on, and we're going to see what happens. I don't know if you can see that. Nice and white. Both angel eyes are on and look good. Factory angel eye here, very yellowish and dim. Probably won't be able to tell because the auto exposure is going to kick in, but very white. A lot dimmer, a lot yellower. Anyway, I don't think you guys really need to see anything else. I'm going to snap this thing back together. Now, I was looking inside this. There is a little different piece in there, not piece, but a little molded in. I don't know if that needs to go on the top or bottom. I'm going to try to just snap it on with that on the bottom. Well, apparently it doesn't matter. That's it. So if these things fail anytime soon, I will definitely update this video and let you know about that. Because like I say, for $17 right now, that looks like it's a much better deal. Now I will say the factory, this factory one right here, this is how you buy the entire factory piece. That bulb that you see in there, if you can, it does not come out of there. So you got to buy this whole assembly. This is This is an aluminum, that's an aluminum housing. So I'm sure this isn't cheap to make. So there's no telling. I hadn't even priced an OEM. When I saw those on Amazon for $16 and it was highly rated and they put out a white light versus the yellow, I was sold right then. So hopefully they last. If they don't last, I'll be a little disappointed. But if I get a couple years out of it, or we might even end up selling this car before that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much these are for OEM style, but they're yellow. Probably a lot more than $17, I would think. Yeah, anyway, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and button all this up and do the other side and be done with it. I'm out. Okay, so the car's all put back together. And let's see if the light's out. Lights out. So that's the main thing, you know, the lights out and that they actually work, I guess. So anyway, that's all there is to it. Take care.